Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. We finally have a spring, summer weather. In fact, today it's supposed to get up to around 90. A couple days ago it was in the 60s. So, pretty crazy. But just wanted to give you a garden update, let you see what I've been up to. And it's been a lot. So, this right here is all of my cool weather stuff. My kale, lettuce, chard, spinach. This is my crazy oregano, Greek oregano that keeps coming back. Even after I tried to dig it up last year, it came back, which is a good thing because all the stuff I transplanted got killed by the grasshoppers. So I'm started harvesting some of this, but I've got a lot more to go. I have some garlic. Right here I've got some carrots that are just coming up. Got cabbage, my broccoli, and over there behind the oregano is some leeks. These are my peas, and I have sugar snap peas and snap peas, pod peas, and a lot of them didn't come up, so I'm going to be putting some more seeds in the next few days. Today I'm working on the drip irrigation, so that's got to come first, because with this hot weather I've got to get the drip and the mulch down, or we're just wasting our energy. This is my asparagus, and I have already taken probably 6 or 7 meals out of just that little area so far. And pretty soon I'm just going to let it all get this ferny growth. That way it builds up energy for next year. And now down at the bottom, there's a bunch of chard and parsley that have self-seeded. And those came from last year. I'm going to let them go. I'll thin them out, but I'm not going to pull them unless I need to. Behind there I have a few pole beans. More of the parsley and chard. These are radishes. They will be done soon, and I'm going to put some more seeds in, so hopefully keep those going. And these right here are all my green beans, which are actually pinto beans. I bought a bag at the grocery store and planted them. They make wonderful green beans. They grow better than anything else I've ever tried. And I stopped wasting money on all the other types because just couldn't get them to grow here. Pinto beans, they go great. And when I'm ready to, I can let them start going to seed, and I'll have pinto beans and seed for next year. These right here are my blackberry and raspberries. And last year the grasshoppers got a lot of the last year's growth. So I didn't even cut all of it back this year, waiting to see what was going to survive. And a lot of it didn't. The plants did, but you get the berries off of last year's growth. So fortunately, especially on the blackberries, it looks like I've got blooms. And over here I've got some blackberries starting. And some right over here are about to come. My raspberries, I haven't seen a lot yet. So I'm going to have to just wait and see what I get from those. And I have a lot of raspberry plants all the way down along this side. Those are all raspberries. And again, the grasshoppers ate a lot of the new growth, so just have to let them recover and pray they don't come back this year. Same thing with my strawberries. I had a huge area of strawberries, probably down to about here last year. Just solid. And again, the grasshoppers killed a lot of that. So this is what I have left, along with a few rogue raspberry plants coming up that I need to pull. So they'll come back. It's just going to take me some time. And this whole bed is mostly going to be squash. So I have butternut squash, zucchini, and yellow squash all planted here. And these three right here are tomatillo plants. And that one just doesn't want to stand up yet. But it's still doing fine, so we'll see how that goes. Right here I have the Seminole pumpkins that I planted the seeds that Wanda and Danny from Crazy Days and Deep South Homestead sent to me. So we're going to see how that goes. I have some there, and I have some in the ground right there. So we'll keep an eye on those. I've got some butternut squash planted in this one, and I've got sugar pie pumpkin planted here. This is all my onions and one walking onion right here. We'll see how that does. I've never grown those before. Right here, and this is another first, is ground cherries. I've never grown them, but I'm going to give them a try, along with two types of cucumbers here. And this one is cucamelons. That's another new one that I've never tried before, but I've read that they're so good, so I want to give them a try. They're little bitty cucumbers that look like melons. And these are another type of bean I have planted there, and a couple of sugar snap peas over here. So late getting started for a lot of this stuff, but with our weather it just hasn't been doable. This is my comfrey, and this thing's finally taking off. It's taken it a few years. Again, grasshoppers ate down quite a bit last year, but they have really deep tap roots, so it's coming back. And all around you can see where Shayna has been out with the DR trimmer trying to cut down these horrible weeds that are a result of all the rain we got this year, which was way too much. And if you can see over there, it's crazy. It's dangerous for several reasons. You can't see where you're walking. There's a lot of snakes out, and so you have to be really careful. And this is up over knee-high, so we've got to get these cut down, but also for fire danger, because these are about to start turning brown. You can see they've already set seed. We haven't been able to get out here before now, so it's just what it is. But we've got to get them cut down, probably about 2 acres area, just to make sure that we have plenty of distance between the dry growth and our house and structures. So it's a huge area that Brian and Shayna are going to be out basically mowing down with a walk behind trimmer. So a lot to do. And this is my container area, and I've got most of it planted. Right here I've got a couple of new blueberry bushes. I've tried them in the ground here. I have not had any success. I think partly because we're very alkaline, so I decided to try in containers. And so far, they seem to be doing well. They're just starting to get some new growth, and that makes me happy. Back there I have some red lettuce that self-seeded from last year, and around it I have planted baby bok choy, because I love that in soups and stir fries, so I want to get some of that, and it's fast growing and very easy. More of my self-seeded lettuce and some thyme. This one's German thyme. And in those pots over there, just barely starting to come up because it's starting to get warm, I have planted okra seeds in those 4. I've tried growing okra in the ground here. 0 success. I have grown them in these big pots, and they don't get like in other places. They don't get tall. They maybe get a few feet, 2 feet tall at the most I've seen. And they don't make a ton, but at least I get some okra because you can't find it here. And this is all more of this red lettuce that just self-seeded, came back, and it's growing wonderful. And this is my other little garden. It's maybe 30 feet away from the other one. This is where we used to have a chicken coop right down here at the end, and this was a run, so perfect place to have a garden. It's already got fertilizer. So last year I had squash and melons in here. This year I decided to switch it up. So this year I have tomatoes and peppers in this garden. And I have planted 18 tomato plants, mostly pasta tomatoes, Roma, some early girls, and then a couple of heirlooms. We'll see how they do. So these are all my tomatoes that I just got in last week. And I planted them deep, so they should get going pretty soon. All the way around the end. And then on the other side is all of my peppers. And I started from the hottest and went down to the mildest on that end. So hopefully they're going to do well. I have a couple of cayenne, some for using to cook with, but some I want to use as medicinal. So those would be dried and ground up. So far all of this that I just got in is doing well. There's one pepper kind of leaning over there, but it just got planted a couple days ago, so we're going to give it some time. And this monstrosity right here is Brian's hops. And up until a few days ago, these were just laying on the ground because he had not gotten out here to put them up. So I've started training them up, although there's still a lot of escapees that I'm going to have to get off the ground because they will just take over. And he's going to have to thin this out a lot. So that's part of his job. I'm not doing the hops. It's for his beer. He can do it. Still weeding to do, especially around the edges of the beds. But I couldn't do that till we cut the weeds on the outside, so that's in the next week or 2. These are the things that I still need to plant, mostly herbs and flowers and things to help repel insects. And I plant these geraniums in front of my porch every year. I love the way they brighten things up, along with my junkyard art and my Dutch oven cooking. This is my first mini rose, and it's beautiful. And my giant Just Joey rose bush that's coming back. Over there are my grapevines and my dwarf peach tree that has the best peaches. This is going to be my next project. This thing is just full of weeds. And I'm going to have to pull out my dead lavender that the grasshoppers killed. But my irises have bloomed, which is nice. At least something is blooming. And I've got my rhubarb that I had to dig up and separate. So there's one there, one there, one there, and one back behind that rose bush. And plus, and this is just a horrible mess, all these weeds this year. And this is more rhubarb. There's two of them. And I did have all these weeds pulled, about 2 weeks ago. But you can see these are about 2.5 feet tall. So I'm going to have to come pull these again. And over here are my pathetic fruit trees, at least the ones I have left. They killed that one last year. They killed another one back by my other garden. I thought my cherry was going to come back, at least half of it. There were a few leaves, but now that's totally dead. So all I've got left are my 2 apples here and my peach that is over by my grapevines. So 3 steps back and 1 forward. But you just keep going. And this little dwarf peach got damaged pretty bad last year. But this tree's amazing, and it came back. And I had to trim out some dead stuff, but it wasn't too bad. And we had blooms on it, and then we had a freeze. But there are a few peaches that are coming out. Not a huge amount, but hopefully I'll get some peaches, and these are so tasty, so really looking forward to it. I love this little tree. And my grapevines, well, I don't think anything kills grapevines. These are black manuka, and it looks like I'm going to get some grapes off of this one this year. All 4 of these are black manukas, and they are just such good black seedless table grapes, and they are really, really good. This is my Cabernet vine, and it's come back, but I don't think I'm getting any, I don't think I've got any grapes forming yet. But my little Chardonnay, I am getting grapes on this one. So I'm pretty excited. There's some hiding under there. And some hiding here. There's some more. They're just all hidden beneath the leaves, which is fine with me for now. So that's my garden update. And I want to share this sunset from my sister's new house. Thanks for watching. God bless. And we'll talk again soon.